Hello, welcome to Reincarnation Anime. Let's begin. Now with number 10, Wise Man's Grandchild. Shin dies in a car accident and gets reincarnated in a fantasy world where he's raised by the legendary sage Merlin Wolford. Growing up isolated from society, Shin develops incredible magical abilities but lacks common sense about the world. When he finally enters Magic Academy, his overwhelming power catches everyone off guard. He can cast spells without chance, create devastating attacks, and his magic capacity is essentially limitless, making him a walking weapon of mass destruction. Okay, let's be real here. Wise Man's Grandchild is peak wish fulfillment, and I'm not even mad about it. Shin is basically what happens when you give a modern person godlike magic powers and zero social awareness. The dude literally blows up mountains by accident and acts like it's no big deal. What kills me is how he's supposed to be this genius, but can't figure out that maybe, just maybe, vaporizing entire landscapes might be considered excessive force. The show knows exactly what it is though, pure unapologetic power fantasy entertainment. Sometimes that's exactly what you need after a rough day. Number 9. Jobless Reincarnation. I will seriously try if I go to another world. A 34-year-old NEET dies and reincarnates as Rudius Greyrat in a fantasy world, retaining his memories and adult mindset. Born with exceptional magical talent, he quickly masters spells that take others years to learn. His previous life's knowledge combined with natural magical ability makes him incredibly powerful from childhood. He learns multiple magic schools, develops unique techniques, and eventually becomes one of the world's strongest mages while navigating complex relationships and personal growth. Mushoku Tensei hit different when it first aired because Rudius isn't your typical overpowered protagonist. Yeah, he's magically gifted beyond belief, but the show actually makes you work for those power moments. Watching him struggle with basic social interactions while casually casting Saint-tier magic is both hilarious and oddly relatable. The animation during his spellcasting sequences is absolutely gorgeous too. Studio Bind really said, let's make magic look so good it'll ruin other anime for you. And honestly, they succeeded. This show made me appreciate how reincarnation stories can actually have depth when they focus on character development alongside the power scaling. Number 8. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. A legendary assassin dies and gets reincarnated by a goddess who tasks him with killing the hero to save the world. Born as Luke Tuatha Day, he retains his assassination skills and modern knowledge while gaining magical abilities. He systematically builds his power, creates his own weapons, and trains allies while preparing for his ultimate mission. His combination of deadly techniques, strategic thinking, and magical talent makes him an unstoppable force in this new world. This show is basically, what if John Wick got isekai'd and had magic? The protagonist doesn't just rely on being overpowered, he's smart about it. Watching Lug methodically plan everything while building the perfect assassination organization is oddly satisfying. The way he combines modern technology concepts with magic to create ridiculous weapons is chef's. Wait, I can't say that. It's absolutely brilliant though. The show also doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of his profession, which adds some much-needed weight to the power fantasy. Plus, seeing him train deer and tart while maintaining his cover is genuinely entertaining character work. Number 7. Remonster. Tomokui Kanata dies and reincarnates as a lowly goblin in a fantasy world, but retains his human memories and gains a unique ability to absorb powers by eating other creatures. Starting weak, he quickly becomes overpowered by consuming monsters and gaining their abilities. He evolves rapidly, transforming from goblin to hobgoblin to ogre and beyond. His analytical mind combined with his absorption ability allows him to build an army and become a legendary monster lord. Monster is wild because it flips the script on typical reincarnation stories. Instead of being born human and overpowered, you start as literally the weakest monster possible. But then the power scaling goes absolutely insane. Watching the protagonist chomp his way through the monster hierarchy is weirdly addictive. The evolution system is fascinating, and seeing him apply human intelligence to monster society creates some really interesting dynamics. Sure, it's basically become stronger by eating everything, but there's something primal and satisfying about that concept. It's like Pokemon, but with more existential dread and significantly more violence. Definitely not for everyone, but incredibly unique. Number 6. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Satoru Mikami dies and reincarnates as a slime in a fantasy world, initially appearing weak but possessing incredibly broken abilities. His unique skilled Predator allows him to devour anything and gain their powers, while Great Sage provides analytical support. He quickly becomes overpowered by absorbing powerful monsters and magic. Building the nation of Tempest, he evolves from slime to Demon Lord, gaining abilities that rival gods while maintaining his kind-hearted personality from his previous life. Rimuru is probably the most wholesome, overpowered character in anime history. The guy literally becomes a god-tier being, but spends most of his time worrying about his friends and building infrastructure. Watching him accidentally solve major political crises while trying to make better food for his citizens is peak comedy. The power scaling is absolutely ridiculous. He goes from eating grass to casually erasing armies, but it never feels cheap because he earns every ability through genuine character development. Plus, the found family vibes with his monster citizens hit different. It's comfort food anime with world-ending power levels. Number 5. Arifureta. From commonplace to world's strongest. Hajime Nagumo gets transported to a fantasy world with his classmates, but starts as the weakest among them. After being betrayed and falling into an abyss, he's forced to survive by eating monster meat, which transforms his body and grants him incredible power. He develops advanced weapons using his synergist abilities and modern knowledge, becoming ruthlessly overpowered. His personality completely changes from kind classmate to cold, calculating powerhouse who prioritizes survival and protecting those he cares about above all else. Arifureta is basically the poster child for power through suffering Isekai. Hajime's transformation from weak pushover to absolute menace is satisfying in the most vindictive way possible. The dude literally creates modern weapons in a fantasy world and goes full Doomslayer on everything. Sure, the CGI can be questionable at times, but watching him absolutely demolish the same type of monsters that almost killed him earlier, pure catharsis. His relationship with Yue adds some much-needed emotional depth too. The show knows it's edgy and leans into it completely. Sometimes you need that unapologetically dark power fantasy in your life. Number 4. Tsukimichi. Moonlit fantasy. Makoto Misumi gets transported to a fantasy world but is rejected by the goddess for being ugly. Banished to the wasteland, he discovers he possesses overwhelming magical power due to the different world's mana density. He can easily defeat powerful monsters and ancient dragons, building relationships with various creatures who become his allies. His archery skills, combined with his ridiculous magical abilities, make him capable of threatening even gods, though he remains humble and unaware of his true strength. Makoto is hands down one of the most entertaining oblivious protagonists ever. The guy can literally one-shot dragons and thinks he's just pretty decent at fighting. His complete lack of awareness about his own power creates comedy gold in every episode. The goddess rejecting him for being ugly backfired spectacularly because now she's stuck with someone who could probably delete her if he felt like it. Watching him accidentally terrorize people while trying to be helpful never gets old. The supporting cast is fantastic too. Tomoe and Mio's reactions to his casual displays of godlike power are absolutely priceless. Number 3. The Eminence in Shadow. Sid Kaganu dreams of becoming the ultimate shadowy mastermind. After dying and reincarnating in a fantasy world, he creates an elaborate roleplay about fighting a secret organization called the Cult of Diablos. What he doesn't realize is that his made-up conspiracy actually exists, and his fake shadow organization becomes real. His incredible combat abilities, combined with his dramatic flair and accidental genius strategies, make him genuinely overpowered, while he remains blissfully unaware of the real impact he's having. The Eminence in Shadow is comedy genius wrapped in an overpowered protagonist story. Sid is living his best Chunibyo life while accidentally saving the world, and he has absolutely no idea. The way he dramatically poses and delivers cheesy villain monologues while being legitimately terrifying is peak entertainment. The animation during his fight scenes is absolutely gorgeous, especially that atomic slash technique that looks like he's splitting reality itself. What makes this show special is how it parodies isekai tropes, while still being a genuinely good isekai. It's self-aware without being cynical, which is incredibly hard to pull off. Number 2. Saga of Tanya the Evil. A ruthless Japanese businessman dies and is reincarnated by Being X as Tanya Degrachav, a young girl in an alternate World War era with magical abilities. Despite her small size, Tanya possesses immense magical power and tactical genius, quickly rising through military ranks. Her modern knowledge combined with powerful combat magic makes her a formidable force on the battlefield. She develops advanced magical techniques and leads devastating military operations while constantly challenging Being X's authority through her actions. Tanya is absolutely unhinged in the best possible way. She's technically a child, but fights like she has decades of military experience, which, technically, she does. The aerial combat scenes are incredible, and watching her outsmart entire armies while maintaining that terrifying smile never gets old. What sets this apart from other isekai is how it deals with serious themes like war and faith, while still delivering on the power fantasy elements. Carlo Zen really created something special here. Tanya's ongoing beef with Being X adds this philosophical layer that most Overpowered protagonist stories completely ignore. It's dark, smart, and absolutely brutal. Number 1. Overlord Momonga, a player of the DMMORPG YG Drassel, stays logged in until the servers shut down and finds himself trapped in the game world as his undead Overlord character. Possessing max-level abilities, world-tier items, and commanding the Great Tomb of Nazarick with its powerful NPCs, he's essentially a walking calamity. His goal shifts from finding other players to conquering the new world, using his overwhelming power and strategic mind to establish dominance while searching for meaning in his existence. Ain's Owal Gown is the gold standard for Overpowered isekai protagonists because he's not pretending to be humble about it. The guy accepts he's essentially a raid boss in a world full of level 1 NPCs and acts accordingly. What makes Overlord brilliant is how it explores the psychological aspects of having that much power. Ain's constantly questions his own humanity while accidentally becoming a legitimate threat to world peace. The supporting cast of Nazarick adds so much personality to the show too. Albedo's obsession, Shaltier's antics, and Demiurge's schemes create this perfect storm of chaos around an already broken protagonist. Pure masterpiece material. And there you have it, 10 anime where reincarnation means instant god mode. Which Overpowered protagonist would you want to be? Drop your favorites in the comments below, smash that like button if this fed your power fantasy needs, and subscribe for more anime content that hits different. Until next time, keep watching and stay overpowered.